but I
Yeah.
have to trust you, Lord, that you'll make a way, you'll provide for me. I mean, the whole business of even going to seminary and having vocational rehabilitation, pay for my schooling. So when I got my master's, I was debt free. I mean, that's another miracle.
That's favor.
Yeah, that's the Abrahamic covenant blessing
Mhm.
again.
I remember you talking about the stigma attached to being divorced, to being a single mom, and how hard
Yeah.
that was for you.
It was, particularly when I came back to the church that had commissioned me and laid hands on me and had sent me forth, because at that time, they did not understand or know that much about domestic violence and, how, and that it was violent, I could have easily been killed or landed up in a mental institution. I knew that. So,
and here they are thinking that maybe you were unsubmissive, or you,
right. Yes.
you weren't
And I should have tried,
I
should have tried better. For whatever reasons, that
somehow
were there.
somehow it's your fault. So you coming
Yeah.
back, you sort of were painted with a scarlet letter, so to speak.
Yes.
Or maybe it wasn't an A, it was a D for divorcee or something like that.
Right.
And you had to deal with that. And that's remarkable too. And is that part of why you ended up in Colorado instead of staying out east? Or
Yes. Yes, because there again, my parents wanted me to go back. I mean, they were in so much denial about what I had been going through. And thankfully I had a couple that I knew from Edinburgh that were out here in Boulder. They had vineyard roots and knew about John Wimber.
So that's a little different than your Baptist background. So everything's changing for you. Did Boulder feel like a fresh start for you in some ways? Was there sort of excitement about it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was just like, and here I had learned how to pray in the Spirit, pray with tongues before I left Scotland, which in some ways was a godsend too, because that helped as far as with all the warfare that was going on at the time, and gave me clarity of thought so that I knew what I needed to do.
Yeah. Sometimes people talk about the gift of tongues as almost like a gateway to being filled with the Spirit in a new way, or having access or more greater comfort with other spiritual gifts. And I wonder if that maybe you would have received a dream from the Lord anyway. But
I had this hunger, and I was able to go to a neighbor's house, and people laid hands on me, and a few days later I was doing dishes, and I was singing and praying in tongues.
Yeah, right. Let's get back to the story. So Joseph, he's put in charge of the prison, which is odd that a prisoner, that's like a trustee, is put in charge. I just see him doing so well, and everyone who has their hard job, it's like, well, I can trust this guy to take care of things, so I can relax a little bit. And he starts having themes that are helpful or revealing for some of his prison mates.
And it's interesting because Joseph, he says when he tells the butler, well, now that you're restored, please remember me, because I was sold in slavery, and and I'm here in Egypt. So 2 years goes by. Joseph is still in prison.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Butler, for remembering me.
Right. So there again, God, Pharaoh has the dreams, and he doesn't know what to do with them. And the butler hears that, and he says, well, by the way, I do remember this guy in prison.
Yeah, maybe he's still alive. Maybe he hasn't rotted away or something.
Yeah. So then there's favor with that. So I guess we can read Genesis 41, 14 through 16.
So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came and stopped there for a minute. I envision him that he hasn't had a shave maybe since he's been in prison. So
right.
I don't know how long that is, but he's probably not looking too good and
No.
not smelling too good. But now suddenly he's looking and smelling better. He came.
He probably had to have a bath or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't been clean for a long time. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream and no one can interpret it, but I've heard it said that that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it.
Joseph says, God is going to give me, the answer. He's crediting the Lord for that. It's honestly, I think this whole business of him being in prison was probably his training and teaching and humility, probably where he had a lot of time to be reflecting on that, and where his before it was arrogance, but now it's not. It's humility. No, God's going to give me.
This seems to be part of the favor and blessing of Abraham too.
Yes.
Abraham gets 25 years of being in his own prison, so to speak. And
right.
even Jacob gets I think 21 years of being in prison to his uncle Laban.
Yeah.
Before he's free, and then he finally get a change in his character after that. So maybe when we're talking about these blessings of Abraham that we're happy to have or wishing we had, that's also part of it too, is hardship for character formation.
I've always told many of my clients, time will be your friend.